1, 2, 3.
Hello, I'm Lynn Gray, RRCA certified coach, and I teach Core and More, a class which helps people from early 20s up to the late 80s to be strong arms, core, back, hips, legs, everything. So today I just want to show some of the main moves with an emphasis on the hips and emphasis on the core. And then each show I will get a different emphasis. So part one, we'll need the following tools of different weights and sizes depending on your fitness level. So today I just want to show you some of the tools of really getting into a good overall weight training program. First, I think it's wise to have a stopwatch so you don't have to count the amount of repeats. Rather you count your repeats in minutes, as in 1 minute or 2 minutes. So a stopwatch is very important. Next, leg or ankle weights, 1.5 pound to 2.5 pound is more than enough. Don't be too heavy with these. Also, hand weights. Of course, you have your 2 pound, 3 pound, 5 pound, 8 pound. What we really want though is fluidity and flexing, so we don't want to have the heavy weights. So try to keep them fairly light. For our hips and for our upper body and just about every part of your body, the bands should be used. This is for the easier stretch. This is a little bit more difficult, and this I like to give to the guys because it purely is extremely challenging. Following that, you want to have a pad to support your knees when you kneel down, or when you lay down you want it to support your back. Remember also the most popular medicine ball, always good for the squats and for the French curls, comes in 5 pound, 8 pound, 10 pound, and on it goes. And of course current type of weight training tools would include the kettlebell, which is very nice for squats as well. So let's get started. First we're going to go ahead and explain the entire body workout, which is called Core and More. You want to first start out with the stretch. That would go beyond, go towards any good workout program. One of the things we want to do is get the major muscle groups. So everything that we do is modified to a point where it's comfortable and that you get your full stretch or your full flex, so it's not too difficult. We're going to go ahead and extend our right leg and our left leg. We'll just take a 7-inch tool. Most of this I get from Walmart. And you really just want to go ahead and stretch out your leg. Your left leg goes behind you. Your right leg is where your chest can be leaning on. And you don't want the knee, of course, to exceed the toes. So you might need a stool bench just to support you, just so you're not going to wobble all around. So having said that, let's see if we can't get a little bit longer on that leg. So I'm bending that left knee down and I'm feeling a stretch throughout the thighs, and it's pretty deep. And now I want to go ahead and get this calf, the right calf muscle, stretched out. So I'm going to actually come back a little bit, come up, and now I'm stretching the right thigh and I'm pushing down on the left heel to get the Achilles. Now I'm a little bit unstable because I did a long run, so sometimes this takes a little bit of time, but eventually you can get a really good workout. Put some hand weights, and this is about a minute. I would put 2.5 pound weights just like this, and you'll feel your whole leg and your upper body, and you can go in different positions. The other leg might be a little bit easier, so you want to go ahead and switch legs. This would be your left is forward, the right is back, and many times you'll find that the hip is very tight, especially with women, so we'll address that next. So here I am again. I'm putting my foot so the knee is not exceeding the toe, and I'm trying my best to get that right knee down just close enough so I can get a huge stretch all the way through the upper part of the thigh. Feeling that stretch, I'm going to pull back and come forward. You're going to go to the left leg, extend the right foot out. The left leg is followed, and you want to go ahead again and lift up, come down. Lift up, come down. You're using all of your strength on that left. If you can get your weight and go outward for your chest press, and do this for about a minute. You'll definitely feel it all throughout here. Come on down to rest. And now let's look at the idea of the hamstring. Since we're already in this position, you simply go into what the yoga folks call downward dog, and you're just pressing, pushing back and pressing your heels to the floor, and you will feel your Achilles, and then come down nicely into a little dip, and there's your back being stretched and your core. And when we get a little bit better, we can go ahead and put our head down between our legs, and then you'll start feeling your hamstrings. Definitely if your calves are tight, you'll feel those first, and then gradually come down. Get a good stretch for your back. And look at the shoulders come out, and that means your shoulders are now being utilized and are part of the strengthening process. Now this is quite hard. This is kind of like a modified plank. I can actually go into another modified plank like this, and that's pure arm strength and core. And then I'm going to come up again. So I guess I would say the more I do of these, the more hamstring I'm going to feel, and the more strength I'm getting. And now I'm going right now probably to a minute on this one, or you can just simply count 10, but usually the stopwatch is easiest. So I'm feeling like I'm getting a little bit looser, and that's a very, very powerful stretch. And then we're going to come up, right foot, left foot, stretch the arms all the way up. Let's get the back a little bit. Pressing the pelvic unit forward, having the arms go back, and the neck. You'll start feeling the lower lumbar. And then conversely, come all the way out, stretch right at the waistline. You can bend your knees a little bit, and you will feel your hamstrings way up here as you find your ankles. Press your chest against your thighs. Now, straighten your legs and let your head totally relax. And there's your stretch again through the calves, the hamstrings, all the attachments, and back down. And one more time, we're going to come all the way up, stretch that back a little bit, almost as if we were young, we could do a back bend, though we're not going to do it today, and then relax. Now the next stretch is dedicated to the hips. So a little bit of balance, which is the second part of Core and More, has to do with being balanced. Now this is a balance and a stretch. And so I'm going to show you both parts. So the first thing you do is you take your right leg over your left foot, and you plant both feet. Take the left hip and let it actually come right out of its socket. So instead of being straight and solid, you actually want that hip to come out. And then you're just going to gradually come on down to the ground. And when you reach the ground, straighten out both legs. And I will tell you right now, you will feel a tremendous amount of workload on that left calf, and the left hip will start feeling like it's being stretched. You can help this stretch a little bit by lifting the right foot. And as you lift the right foot, that left hip comes to be a little bit more stretched. And then if you want some balance, you can say, oh, I can stand up, and I'm really using a little bit of balance. And there's a little shake there because that means the leg is tired. And just come on down, come out of the pose, and same idea with the right. So find that right hip and get the left leg over the right. Hip goes out. You'll feel it come right out of the socket. You're not going to lose it. And then come on down and gradually bend. And just gradually come down. Get your balance first. You'll feel, now you're feeling the hip flex through this area here. And when you get your balance, let your head relax. and then straighten out your legs, and oh my goodness, you're going to have a huge amount of stretch right there. And then you can actually repeat any of this 5 times, giving you that total requirement of a 15-second stretch. And I'm going to go ahead and see how my balance is. I'm going to lift my left foot up and just kind of thinking, I wonder if I can come all the way up without having to go anywhere other than straight up. And it takes a little bit of practice, but that's some balance, and you can always work on that. And twist your leg around, and then you want to come on down and try it again and again. So that way, and that stretch really strengthens those legs and stretches all of your hip flexors. Let's talk about the balance. Let's do one fairly easy one. Same idea with the hips. Take your right hip, let it come out, and take your left leg out, and just put it right on your shin. And then have your arms out like this. And if you like, you can put your weights on and start making a little bit of an exercise. And now what you're doing is you're strengthening that right calf and greatly concentrating and improving your balance. Now one side is going to be a little bit easier than the other. So let's see what the other side feels like. Now this is the left leg. Already I'm having a problem with balancing on that one. But let's see how this one goes. I'm going to go ahead, put my hip out, lift up my my right leg, and come out and hold fast, hold steady. And again, if I want to go ahead and do some weight training besides, and you can wrap your right leg around. But basically, you'll feel this whole shin moving around, trying to find its balance. Ankles are going to get very, very strong just by doing this. And that's why balance, other than we lose it when we get to be 50 or more, why balance is very strenuous. It's maybe just as hard as doing some of this weight training coming up. Okay, now let's go ahead and address our legs. And actually you can do 2 things at once. You can do the legs and the arms at the same time. It's usually best to do it without weights first and then put the weights on. So what you want to do is think about how can I get the most out of my legs and arms and yet get maybe the waistline at the same time. And if you're a runner, that forward motion becomes really important. So what you want to do is start getting your arms, moving them right and left as if you're going for forward motion. So then let's take the opposite leg out and hold, bring it in. Take the opposite leg out, hold, bring it in. And then we repeat this. And if we put an ankle weight on and have a medicine ball in our hand, we're going to see that this is quite a bit of work. But we're not going to stop here on the left and right. We're going to go forward. Let's take the same idea, and right now I'll go get a medicine ball. There's a 5-pound. I'm going to go ahead and use the medicine ball, take the same idea, have the forward motion and the back leg go, bring it in, forward motion with the arm, back leg goes out, and start thinking about forward, back, forward, back. And as you do this and have ankle weights on, you're going to feel an enormous amount of workload with your arms and your legs. Now I hadn't even put the ankle weights on, but this is already challenging to me. Let's take the same example and let's use this on the side. Give this to somebody and take it back. Give this to somebody and take it back. Now this is going to work your waistline and your arm strength, and a twist is really, really good for forward momentum. Do this for about a minute and you're definitely going to feel it. Now, one other thing you can do while you're doing that is think more on your back leg. So if you're going to go ahead and work on your back leg, you can go ahead and put the medicine ball behind you, and if your ankle weights are not on your ankles yet, you can slap those on And this is a 1.5 pound. So we can go ahead and very easily make this into quite an exercise by simply taking your right leg out and the medicine ball up, holding and in, and holding and in, and 3 and in, and 4 and in. So try a minute on each side. Now if the medicine ball is too heavy, simply put it down and take a lighter weight. Same idea. Well, let's try the left leg. And back and in. Now this is for your triceps, your arms under here, and your back and your glutes. So you're really kind of getting a good exercise. And this is going to be a little aerobic. If you have a light weight, you're going to find yourself moving quicker, and that's going to put your heart rate up. And also you can go ahead and use the same idea practicing on the front. And up, and up, left, and up, and up. And you can be doing that for about 2 minutes on left and right alternating. And that's going to build up your legs quite a bit. Now one tidbit about leg strength that a lot of people miss is that they seldom really use the top part of their muscle. So what I'm going to suggest, you might want a wall next to you because there's a lot of balance, and you can actually use a step. So start looking at your leg as more, the strength part more near your torso, your hip area. Stop thinking about your leg strength right around your knees and your calves, because that's really the last hurrah. You don't want to depend on the lower part. So let's really get this part strong. And this can be alternating for 2 minutes, but let's just do a few of them. So get your balance, find a wall if you need it. And you know, you're up here, you have your weight on, but now lift your leg up and hold out, 2, 3, 4, down. Lift, hold up, 2, 3, 4, down. Lift, hold up, 2, 3, 4, down. Lift, hold up, 2, 3, 4, down. Now you're feeling it right in here. Now if we do it alternating, maybe a little bit more coordinated. Left, lift, up, 2, 3, 4, down. Right, lift, up, 2, 3, 4, down. Left, up, 2, 3, 4, down. So the idea is, first here's your lift, and some people will just go like this, but we're doing is long, a higher lift, long extension, holding, so you feel this entire area. Now, that's going to definitely make a big difference. Since we're just getting the front of the legs, let's talk about the back of the legs. Okay, let's do a little bit of the hamstring and the glutes. So you want to go ahead and take the same bench, and bend down, get your left leg up as high as you can, and you're holding, and instead of just holding it this high, go up another level, 2, 3, 4, 5, down. Go up, and then up, 2, 3, 4, 5, down. Go up, and then up, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can alternate, go up, and up, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the other one, up, and up, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can alternate 1 or 2 minutes, and you'll feel that all through your glutes and your hamstring. Very powerful tool to get leg power and strength. And you'll feel that, believe me, within a minute. Now, we're not really done with our arms. So let's do one little exercise. It involves the band. We can do so many things with the band. But this right now, I'm going to start with the easy one. And sometimes it's not that easy when you do a lot of repetitions. So in this case, I recommend 10 repetitions, but all different levels. So what we're going to do is start with our upper body, our chest from going here. We're going to have it come out so there's none of this slouching. So thinking about that, and you can actually do a non-example, look down and look at your arms slumped a little bit. And let's correct that and put it on out before you start. And now you're ready to start. So the first one is you have the band right around like a mirror type of view. And you're going to go ahead and pull out, hold 2, 3, and in. Not all the way. Hold 2, 3, and in. Hold 2, 3, and in. Hold 2, 3, and in. Do 10 of those. Let's go up a higher level and all the way up. Up 2, 3, and in. Not all the way in. Out 2, 3, and in. Out 2, 3, and in. Out 2, 3, and in. And do about 6 more of those, and then come down to this level and out 2, 3, and in. Out 2, 3, and in. Out 2, 3, and in. You get the idea, and then you can go in the back of your body and do the same idea. Get those shoulders from here, back. It's quite difficult. Out 2, 3, and in. Kind of lift them up a little bit, then out 2, 3, and in. Out 2, 3, and in. And you can see that after doing 40 of these, your arms will have a really good workout. Consequently, those people who are runners and walkers, we want to practice moving as if this was a slingshot. This is for your forward motion. So you want to really go 1, hold, 2, hold, 3, hold. And again on the other side, 1, hold, 2, hold. You do 10 on each of these. Your arms are going to get much stronger in this position. Likewise, you can actually use it just like this. And go like this, and this, straight ahead. And your forward arm motion for running and walking will the strength will greatly increase, and your efficiency of arm movement will as well. So, one other thing about the legs that we should never go without. For 2 minutes, that's 30 seconds each way, take off, you don't really need your ankle weights when you start using a band. It's way too much. You use your band, put it on your ankles. You do this outside, generally speaking. And what you're really looking at is strengthening your hips, your glutes, and your quads, but really is this whole area that will get strong. So for 2 minutes, you want to go ahead and you divide it into 30 seconds. So 30 seconds forward, 30 seconds back, 30 seconds left and right. And there's your stopwatch. And I'm not going to do it, otherwise I'll run into the camera. But you're going to go ahead, forward is like the Night of the Living Dead. And you'll feel it right in here. Backwards is blocking the knees actually, and keeping tension, and you'll feel it all in here. And then on the right, this is for your hips, you want to go here to the right, keeping an arch back at all times, 30 seconds. And then on the left, keeping an arch back. And some people actually add weights, and as they move, they'll actually put weights on and get more of a twist. And that's fine. Adding on is fine, but first get the basics. And even though I spent about 10 seconds in each direction, I already felt it. And that's with the yellow band. And I have folks that can do a quarter of a mile of each of these motions. And their legs are like sequoias. So that's a very good tool. If you don't have a band, see me and I'll get you one, or go to some local sports place and get a band. Now, probably the most important part that many of us focus on is we want to reduce our waistline. Thus we want to work on the core, which is not really translating to reducing your waistline. If you want to lose weight and reduce this girth here, the best way is to be moving, of course, and increase muscle mass. But you really have to get aerobic body fat. So it really takes about 30 to 45 minutes of continual fast motion, walking fast or running. So we'll get into that later on the second part, but let's just take right now getting a strong core, good posture. So the core you look at never just as this first side. Never look at the core as the only thing you're going to do. It has to be the back. To do strong core, you have to do the back. So let's take two parts of our body immediately. Consider the core relationship with the back. And consider saving your back always when you do the core and your neck. So we just kind of put the pad on the lower lumbar. Not that it's going to make it that much comfortable, but what we want to do is find the core area. And as you lean back, you're going to start feeling a little bit of tension, and you'll find your core. And just let your hands be comfortable, because if you start going on the opposite way and doing the old-fashioned yank up, all you do is pull your back muscles. You really don't want to do that. So what you want to do is try to go ahead, come on up if you can. If you're even at that level, come up without pulling the back of your head. If you're not strong enough to do that, in other words, if you go and start up like this. So here you are, already in a core position. And you may say, well, that's not working hard enough, but we can change that around real quick. So here we are with the core. Let's take the right leg up and hold for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And take the left leg up. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I feel the core right now. And you can go ahead and hold, or you can just tuck and out. Tuck and out. Tuck and out. Tuck and out. And one more, that's 5. And believe me, you'll feel your core. And you just come back, lay down, and it relaxes the back. Come back up. Again, now remember, if you're not strong in the core, you're going to be going, and I've had to hold many people's hands and bring them up. So if you're a beginner, just start like this. And here you are. Now, some of the beginners might even feel the core like this. And in that case, just flat out, stay here for 5 seconds, and then relax. Come back up, 5 seconds. But let's finish that intermediate core. We'll take the right leg up, left leg up. Okay, so some people feel like this is too easy, so just let your hands out, and you're completely having your butt as the fulcrum, and you can go ahead like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and down you go. Guarantee you'll feel your core. And that cushion kind of helps you go right to your back and relax it, and it makes you a little bit apt to go like this. And that in itself is a core. So let me review. Take your beginner position and just one leg. This is your resistance. This whole leg weighs a lot. But putting 2 legs really weighs a lot. And now I already feel it. So I'm going to go ahead, release a little bit, tuck in, still feeling it. Maybe come out again, tuck in, out again, tuck in, out again, tuck in, and out again, tuck in, and bingo, I am done with that set. Generally, core work is done in 5s, because after you get to 5 repeats, you don't want your back to be strained. Now, that's just one of a plethora of core movements. Let's finish off with the back movement. The back is probably the most relaxing and the most important. First thing, big time tool, the cushion should be right above your knees, because you don't want to slam your knees on the ground, and this kind of lifts your knees up. So we're going to go ahead, many of you heard of the Cobra and such things as yoga, moves that really are very good back exercises. And you just simply come down on the floor, and even in this position here, with your feet, the tops of your feet down, you're going to feel your back work. It's really very relaxing. So some of us might have bad backs, and this right here might be way enough, just like that. So we don't want to go too much into back work if you have a weak back, but you do want to strengthen it. However, there are those who say, I've done a lot of yoga and my back is quite strong, so then I suggest to them, put your hands out wide and do your back in 2 places. First, use your back muscles, and there they're being used, and then use your hands to come up even further. And now I'm using my back, and I can actually lift my legs and have a lower back. That's quite, I want to say, intense for many people. That might be a little bit too easy, but do a few repetitions of that. Think about 2 stages. Here's your back strength, and now I'm increasing my strength by pushing off of my palms of my hands. My legs are coming up, and I'm holding the position for 15 seconds with a series of about 5 of them. After that, you simply rest. Then you may have a person next to you who says, I am very, very strong on my back, I need a little bit more. Well, we can fix that. We can go ahead and put the hands even closer to the waist. Stage 1, use your back muscle. Now when you lift up, you're going to be lifting up your whole entire back, and your thighs will be pressing on the ground. Your glutes are together, and this is quite a difficult position. And then you can come down gracefully. You want to just plop down on your chin. And you can actually repeat this, coming up gradually. 1, coming down. Again for a count of 5. So here's your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down. For a repeat amount of 5. Very good for your back. And of course you can always lift your leg up for even more. So that is your back. And that includes, or concludes, part 1 in our core and more. And just remember a few things. Repeats go for a minute or 2 minutes when you do your arms and your legs. And your core is usually done in units of 5. And remember, before you do any of this, you have to stretch. And you should start involving an aerobic component. But we'll talk about that in session 2. Thank you.